Welcome back to another episode of the Draw Control Podcast. On today's episode, I'm joined by Taylor McMath, who is a player on the University of Tennessee Women's Club Lacrosse team. She is the first club lacrosse player we've had on the podcast, and we're so excited to share her story to help promote club lacrosse across the United States. So, Taylor, welcome to the podcast, and how is everything going?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me. Very excited for this opportunity.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I'm really excited to have you on. So I feel like we should start this interview just talking about the beginning of your career and then working all the way down to where you are now. So where are you from? And just talk about growing up there and how did you start playing lacrosse?
Yeah, so I'm from Massachusetts, about an hour south of Boston. I started lacrosse in third grade, just like another sport I wanted to pick up, but I've been playing ever since then. I've played all throughout high school. I played club lacrosse too, and now I'm here playing for the club team at Tennessee.
Nice. Who were some of your lacrosse role models growing up?
I would say being from Massachusetts, I loved watching the Boston College team. Every single player on that team, honestly, I've looked up to. I love watching their games, going to them. So yeah, definitely them.
Nice, nice. Now, obviously, you mentioned that you played club lacrosse as well as for your high school team. So, where did you play heading off to college, and how did that experience, I guess, help prepare you for your club lacrosse experience with Tennessee?
Yeah, so again, I played in high school, and then I played for Gold Star. It's a club team. But basically, I went through the whole recruiting process. I was debating between committing to a varsity level or just going to a big school and playing club lacrosse. Um, so that was personally just my decision after playing through all of high school and club lacrosse that I wanted to play club lacrosse at a big school.
Nice, nice. Well, let's talk about your time with Tennessee. So, I guess talk about why you ended up deciding to go to Tennessee versus other schools you might have looked at.
Yeah, definitely. So I applied to a lot of big schools, kind of southern, some up north. Um, Tennessee was actually one of the last schools I applied to, kind of just to have another school, but I ended up really liking it when I toured it. So that was definitely what I was deciding between, again, was the club lacrosse or playing for a varsity school. And when I saw Tennessee, I just fell in love with it. And I decided to come here and play club lacrosse here.
Yeah. So, for your club lacrosse team, is there like a recruiting process or like a tryout for when an athlete joins a team? And if so, how'd you end up joining the club lacrosse team here in Tennessee? And I'm curious how that whole thing works.
Yeah, so since we're a club team, we participate in the SWIL League, which is the Southwestern Lacrosse League here. And we can't recruit anyone. I know a lot of people get confused if you can be recruited to a club team, but we can't be. We're mainly self-funded. Um, but yeah, we also we go through, we find our own coaches, all of that. We have exec board, so I'm the president of the club cross team here. So it's a lot of student run organization. We kind of work with other students and we schedule games, practices, all of that. So it's mainly more of a student run organization instead of a coach-based program, I would say. Um, what else were you
I was just
asking?
wondering like how you specifically joined the team. Like, was there like a tryout or
Oh
something like
yeah.
that?
Yeah, so we always have tryouts at the first week of school. So it's basically we do 3-day tryouts. Anyone can try out, all that. And then we have a practice roster and a travel roster. Obviously, we can't have all the girls travel with us, but yeah, so you basically make the team either way, but it depends on if you make the practice team or if you make the travel team as well.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
talk about your experience with Tennessee and what that has been like for you both on and off the field.
Yeah. I mean, Tennessee, it's an SEC school. It's an amazing atmosphere. Football games, even soccer games, basketball games, all that. It has so much to offer too with academics. But just even looking at lacrosse too, like it's offered great opportunities for me. Like I said, I'm the president. I never would have thought I would be a president of an organization, which is really cool. But it's giving me a lot of friends too, on and off the field that we can all hang out. Um, just enjoy everything that Tennessee has to offer.
What's been your favorite memory, like lacrosse wise, with Tennessee so far?
Lacrosse wise, I would say traveling. We get to travel to a lot of cool schools. We went to Clemson, we went to Bama, Kentucky, we went to Florida, FSU, which was really cool. Again, it's something that this organization gets to offer that I didn't think I'd ever be able to get to do. So I'd say that's definitely um, coolest memory is traveling to all those
Nice,
schools.
nice. Now, from your perspective, what has been like the biggest thing you've improved on since you arrived at Tennessee lacrosse wise as well?
I would say personally communication and I just, I'm not someone who is very like outgoing towards everyone. Um, so I think like being on the lacrosse team, I've made a lot of new friends and all these friends have been able to bring out the best in me, allowed me to communicate with everyone, build new relationships, on and off the field, I would say.
Nice, nice. And how have you learned to balance both academics and lacrosse at such a high level? Because obviously that's kind of a skill I think us college students have to learn.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, academics do get to be a lot, they kind of build up having to study for tests, homework. But I would say lacrosse, like lacrosse practice, it's just like a nice way to get away from all that stress. So I wouldn't say I'm feeling like forced to go to lacrosse. Like I'm always glad to go and take a break and hang out with everyone again, play the sport that I love. I mean, it does come a time where sometimes I'll be like, you know what, lacrosse, I might need to just focus more on academics right now instead of focusing more on lacrosse. But it's something that I can easily balance, if you have the love for the game, it's really easy.
Now, you sort of mentioned this before, but who are some of the teams that you guys get to play against? And I guess which field is your favorite to play in?
Yeah, so we play in our league, we play like Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Clemson. I would say favorite fields. I really liked going to FSU. It was just such like a competitive game going to play there. Not only that, you get to see the campus and everything, playing on all the turf fields. I feel like every college that we play has really great fields to play on. But I would definitely say FSU. That was such a cool experience going there.
Now, how has your lacrosse experience at Tennessee helped enrich your college experience overall?
I would say definitely giving me new friends, a lot of new relationships, because you kind of connect with people who are in same major as you, all that. You get to network through your teammates too. So I think it's definitely the relationship part has given me a lot of stuff overall at Tennessee.
Nice. What is your major?
I'm marketing.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Now, now let's move on to a segment I like to call the non-lacrosse segment, where I ask you some non-lacrosse questions to get to know you more off the field, and I'll answer some of these as well to make it a more fun conversation. So, first one is, who is the funniest teammate on the Tennessee lacrosse team?
Ooh, funniest teammate. Um, I would say Claire, one of our midfielders, Claire. She's very funny. She just always knows when to crack a joke. Yeah, I would say she's probably funniest.
Now, which teammate has the best style off the field?
Ooh, I would probably say one of our defenders, Grace. Um, I love all the clothes she wears. I want to steal them all the time because they're amazing. But yeah, definitely Grace.
Now, what was your favorite TV show growing up?
Ooh, um, I would say I really liked iCarly.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one. That one was very funny. I love that.
Yeah. I would say for me that one, or I guess like Sweet Life on Deck. That was on
Oh
all.
yeah.
I really like that one a lot.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Now, obviously, you've traveled to many places because of your lacrosse experience with Tennessee. So, where is one place you would love to travel to one day?
I would say the Maldives. Very random, but I always see videos about it, pictures. Absolutely love it. It is very far away, probably expensive, but I'm hoping one day I can go.
Nice. I would say for me, New York City. That looks like a lot of fun to go there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now, what is one guilty pleasure that you have?
Um, ooh, tough one. I'm trying to think.
I'll give my answer first to give you
Okay.
some time to think about yours. I would say I'm a big fan of One Direction. I think I really like their music a lot.
Okay. Wait, yeah, I love One Direction. For my guilty pleasure, let's see. Um, I really like watching Friends a
Hmm.
lot. I've probably rewatched it so many times, but I guess you could say that's a guilty pleasure, just rewatching
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. So now, speaking of music, I guess, what music do you like to listen to?
I love country music. I'd say I kind of listen to Zach Bryan and Morgan Wallen on repeat all the time.
It must be cool to be in Tennessee and listen to Morgan Wallen since he has a lot of songs about the school.
Yeah, it was really cool seeing him perform too in Neyland
Oh, you went
recently.
to that? That was, I liked how they brought out the Tennessee baseball team before the show. That was really cool.
Yeah, I loved it.
I would say same with you, country, hip hop, and pop music as well. I sort of listen to everything. So I don't know if there's like any specific genre that I listen to the most, but I would say pretty much any music outside of like really heavy metal, I would probably listen to. So, uh, favorite class you've taken in college so far?
Um, I would say, so as I said, Tennessee offers a lot of cool classes. One class I took with all of my friends was a rape against aggression class. So we actually got to go to the police station and we got to like learn moves to help us feel like more protected if we're ever in like certain situations. But it was really cool because it's like a phys ed class and it was with all my friends. So it was definitely something like we can bond over and like go to together, and it was really cool.
Yeah. I would say for me, probably like we took this speech class. That was cool to learn about like public speaking because it's like the most, I think it's like people's biggest fear like in the entire world, which is kind of crazy, like even more than death. So I would say public speaking was definitely an interesting class to be a part of and a good skill for me to learn.
Yeah, I would say I was very nervous when I used to like struggle with public speaking, but I also took public speaking in college, and it definitely helped me relax some of the nerves.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I like the assignments they made us do. It's like we got to talk about our interests and it sort
Yeah.
of helped out a lot. So it's kind of cool to get to the chance to do that as well. Now, last non-lacrosse question for you, Taylor, is if you could have lunch with anyone in the world, who would it be and why?
I would say Matthew McConaughey. He is my celebrity crush, and I don't know, I feel like he'd like know of some good restaurants to go to with some expensive food, but I
Yeah.
feel like I'd want to have lunch with him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Texas plays Tennessee, but you might get the chance to see him because he's always following Texas football.
I know, I know. We don't play them sadly, but in basketball we do.
Okay, so maybe you'll see him there. I don't know if he's a big basketball guy or not, but I would
Hopefully.
I would say for me, probably Tom Brady. I'm a big fan of his. Just sort of the adversity he went through to be the greatest quarterback of all time. I would definitely like to pick his brain just about how he went through his mindset and just how he went through all of those like big games that he was a part of.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Now, getting back to some lacrosse questions now, what advice would you give a younger lacrosse player listening to this podcast and why they should play club lacrosse instead of, I guess, going to like another varsity sport like you were considering when you were in high school?
Yeah, I would just say be confident and trust yourself. You know, I'm someone who always like overthinks and feels like I'm going to make the wrong decision. But once I made that decision to come to Tennessee and I actually started playing club lacrosse, I knew I made the right decision. It's more of the lifestyle for me. I'm still getting the same competition. I got to stay confident in myself. And I did build that confidence. And I knew that this was the place I was supposed to be at. Club lacrosse is for me. But definitely, I would just say trust yourself. Don't overthink the decision. So whatever decision you make is definitely the one for you.
What should be done to help grow women's lacrosse from your perspective?
I mean, I think it'd be cool if Tennessee had a varsity team. I know lacrosse isn't too big down south. But I think if more of these SEC schools started adding these varsity lacrosse teams, that would definitely help put women's lacrosse more on the map, grow their popularity and all that.
Yeah, and you could see the success that like a team like Florida's having, and that's another SEC school. So I think it would be cool to have more across down south to help grow the sport out there. How many teammates of yours are from like the South? Is it a lot of like people from like the Northeast that are on your club lacrosse team, or is it people from like all across the United States?
I mean, there are people from everywhere,
Hmm.
but I'd say the majority are from Maryland or Pennsylvania. And you can definitely tell because, they're very good at lacrosse. I know, and lacrosse is a lot more popular up in states like Maryland, Massachusetts, all that. I do see people from down south, on our team, but I would say the majority is Northeast.
Hmm. Now, speaking of your teammates, do you have any shout outs you want to give to them or any family members and friends that you have? And who from your team should we have on the podcast next?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, shout out to all my team. They're all great. I'd say like my executive board too. Like we're doing a great job organizing everything and making things like this happen. I'd say shout out to my dad. He said he's going to listen to this later, so hope he enjoys this. And I would say someone to have on the podcast next, probably one of the attackers, Ava. She's always loving all these podcast stuff and wanting to kind of talk and help get the word out about women's lacrosse as well.
Nice, nice. Well, thank you so much, Taylor, for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate you taking time here today and doing this. It was lovely to have you on, and thank you so much for doing it. And have a great rest of your day. And I really enjoyed this conversation. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.